We're talking cattle markets now. So Derrell, what did the latest cattle on feed report indicate?
You know, the March cattle on feed report showed that we do still have fairly large feedlot inventories. March 1st inventories were 12 million head exactly, and that was about 1.6% above where we were this time last year. February placements were about 98% of last year, as were February marketings, also about 98% of last year. The report was well anticipated, so there were no real surprises in the report, but you know, we did notice, as expected, that there were some disruptions in February because of the weather that impacted both the placements and the marketings number.
So, you know, shifting to fed cattle, what did the fed cattle numbers look like?
You know, the fed cattle market has just been trapped in a flat scenario all spring. We've been looking for a spring rally and it has failed to materialize. Prices, cash fed cattle prices really haven't changed for about 6 weeks. And so as a result, we're still kind of looking for a little bit of a rally. We're getting kind of late in the game for that. But, you know, if you look at the April futures, they're actually at a premium to current cash prices. We're still looking for that market to come up a little bit. But if you look at April prices for the futures compared to June, there's normally about a $6 to $8 discount between from April down into June. Right now, June is as high or a little bit higher even than April, which just shows you that this market has kind of given up on the spring rally, but it's still holding on to an awful lot of optimism from June on.
So what about feeder cattle?
The feeder cattle markets have been remarkably strong this spring. We've seen a lot of good grass demand develop here, and you know, after the winter weather in February into March, and so the stocker cattle prices have moved up, you know, a little bit more than you would seasonally expect from, say, last October's low. So these prices are quite strong. Even the heavy feeder cattle are well above where you would have expected them to be given where we were last fall.
So there's still some drought in parts of the state. We did get some rain in a lot of the state this week, but you know, going forward into the summer for some potential for summer grazing, what does the prospects look like?
You know, I've had some questions given how strong these lightweight calf prices or stocker prices have been this spring. You know, how does it look for summer grazing? But, you know, if you run kind of a typical summer budget or, you know, any of several type summer budgets, the feeder futures for the fall are really quite strong. And so you can take those prices right now and actually lock in, it appears to me, a decent margin. So I think there's some prospects. There's just an awful lot of optimism built into really all of the cattle markets here, especially for the second half of the year as we go forward.
Does a lot of that have to do with kind of the numbers with the pandemic kind of going down in the United States?
It's a combination, I think, on the demand side of sort of optimism on the general economy, on the pandemic impacts. It's also, I think, the result of the supply situation on the cattle side tightening up a little bit as we move through the year.
All righty, Derrell. Dr. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.